line that is an absolute wreck. All 5 of these guys were starters, 4 of them were tackles. They're all out. So Jake Locker may be tucking the football and running.
Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Tennessee won the toss. They will receive to start this football game, week 15 of the NFL on CBS. Ken Whisenhunt in his first season on the Tennessee sideline. His team has lost 7 straight games, the longest active streak in the NFL. Leon Washington, the former Jet, back deep to receive the kick from Ryan Quigley. And we are underway in Nashville. Washington will take this one out. And Washington wrapped up at the 24-yard line, and Jake Locker will come out for the Tennessee Titans. Just his 5th start of the season, his first since October 5th against the Browns.
And Jake Locker, we sat down and talked with him yesterday. You could kind of tell there was a little peace about him, understanding the magnitude of this situation and really realizing how fortunate it is to get this opportunity to play these last 3 weeks of the season to kind of reconfirm that he can play.
Locker will start in the shotgun. Bishop Sankey, the rookie, right next to him. Locker to throw on first down, and that pass is caught by Nate Washington, who gets to the 31-yard line, a gain of 6. As we take a look at the Tennessee starting offense, and Steve Tasker just mentioned it, both tackles are new. Svitek on the left side. Meredith just signed on Tuesday, starts at right tackle, and Kendall Wright will not play today because of injury. Derek Hagan starts at wide receiver.
Well, Hagan's going to have to help out. Nate Washington has really played well against the Jets, but he's going to need some help from Hagan on the other side.
That's Hagan in motion. Sankey again at running back, and they give it to the rookie Sankey, who's got a first down for Tennessee. Look at the Jets defense, and with Wilkerson out, Quentin Coples will start at defensive end again for the Jets. David Harris, 13 tackles to 1,000 for his career. What a career it's been. And Philip Adams starts at corner in favor of Darren Walls. And also you see Calvin Pryor is starting for DeJuan Landry.
And this secondary for the Jets has been torched quite a bit this year. Philip Adams making the 3rd start there. Rex Ryan hoping he'll be the answer.
Now here's the former Jet Sean Green on the carry. He was inactive last week, and he's had really a quiet season for Tennessee. Just 30 yards rushing in his last 8 games, and Rex Ryan told us yesterday that's not the Sean Green that I coached in New York.
Yeah, he thinks that Green has changed a little bit. Not quite the physical runner that he once was, but nevertheless, and he has been quiet here in Tennessee. But you know, there's a couple of guys on each team that are, you know, they circled this game on the calendar when the schedule came out.
Locker, quick pass to McCluster, and he was tripped up right away. Coming up to make that tackle was the rookie Calvin Pryor.
Oh, that's a heck of a play by Calvin Pryor. Great recognition. You know, Dexter McCluster on the outside is they're gonna try and create ways to get him to football. You've always got to be aware for those quick passes. And also up front, Calvin Pace told us yesterday they know that the Titans are going to be trying to get the ball out of Jake Locker's hand quickly because of all the problems Steve Tasker documented up front with this offensive line.
3rd down and 5 for Tennessee. They are last in the NFL, converting just 28% of their 3rd downs. Locker steps up and now fires it to Durham, incomplete. Good pursuit again by Calvin Pryor.
And this is one of the issues. Then you knew that Jake Locker was going to have to be ready to shuffle out of the pocket. Not bad protection to begin with. Locker buys a lot of time. Well played once again by Pryor, forcing Locker to back off the line of scrimmage and try and make the throw. That was a great defensive play by the Jets.
So once again, Tennessee fails to convert on 3rd down. They are last in the NFL in 3rd downs for the 9th straight week. This is not something new. It's Kyle Wilson back deep to receive the punt from Brett Kern, and also behind him is Curley. And he'll take this one and slips. So Curley brought down at the 7 after a 53-yard punt. Jets backed up deep for their first drive when we come back.
Tennessee Titans, you knew based on what has happened in recent weeks, the Jets are going to come after him up front they've got themselves now stuck in a 3rd and long situation.
Percy Harvin lined up at wide receiver. Matched up at the top of your screen with Jason McCourty. Smith on 3rd and 9, dumps it down low. There's a flag down. Bilal Powell makes the catch. Tackled at the 15, short of a 1st down. Today's referee is John Parry, our first penalty of the game.
We're going to have a choice between 3rd and
Holding.
much longer,
Offense, number
or
66.
4th and short.
Penalties decline. Result of the play, 4th down.
Yeah, we talked to Rex Ryan yesterday, and we also talked to Geno Smith, and they had the same thing. There's 3rd down is the issue. The problem is if you're not very good on 1st and 2nd down, 3rd down follows suit, and that's what happened on that series to open the game for the Jets.
We apologize for some technical difficulties. That penalty was on Willie Colon, and the Jets go 3 and out. 5th time this year Colon has been called for holding. So Quigley is on to punt it away to Dexter McCluster. McCluster from his own 35. Splits 2 tackles, trying to get to the outside, and he's tripped up. Coming up to make that tackle was Bilal Powell. Tennessee back on offense when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Amazon's new Fire HD, powerful tablet, endless entertainment. And by Honda, where you can get great deals during Happy Honda Days.
Back in downtown Nashville, no score first quarter between the Jets and the Titans. Jake Locker has lost 5 consecutive starts at home. Last time he won was last September of 2013 against the Jets. In fact, Locker in his career is 2-0 against Gang Green. Not much doing on this running play on 1st down. Locker started this season as the starter here in Tennessee, but as has been his problem throughout the years, injuries took a toll, and they went to Zach Mettenberger, the 6th-round pick out of LSU, but Mettenberger got hurt last week, and he's now out, so Locker back in as starter. How about Tennessee? Since 2007, they have not had the same quarterback lead them in passing in 2 consecutive years. Last year, it was Ryan Fitzpatrick who led Tennessee in passing yards. Locker to McCluster. Across the 40 and tackle at the 42-yard line.
You know, you come into a game like this with both teams being so far down on the win column. There's a lot of stories that are happening in New York and here in Tennessee that are more interesting to the fans than the actual outcome of the game. You mentioned in the open that both these clubs, looking at the standings, they're in the hunt for the first pick of the draft. Both these coaching staffs, now Whisenhunt is in his 1st year, Rex Ryan not so for the New York Jets. A lot of things flying around about their organization and what their future holds for the immediate future.
3rd down and 4 for the Titans. Locker. He's going to keep it himself. He's got the 1st down. Well, that's one of the things that we talked to Jake Locker about yesterday, and certainly injuries have been his problem, but he told us that running is his weapon, and he's not going to change no matter where he is next year.
And you see the athletic ability. It does scare defenses because he can hurt you, and especially on these 3rd down situations, he knows exactly where those sticks are. And you talk about the injuries, and we talked to him about this yesterday. He made the point that most of his injuries during his career have come inside the pocket. He gets a lot of grief about running and putting himself at risk, but he gets hurt in the pocket.
2nd carry for Sean Green into Jets territory, still going to the 45-yard line before Jarrett finally takes him down.
And in the first series against it, when the Jets handed it to Chris Johnson, I was actually making some points about the offensive line. It was the Tennessee offensive line that has the short menu. They've got, you saw in the open, 5 guys that started for them in the offensive line, 4 of which were tackles, are out of this game. They are down to Jamon Meredith, number 79. He was signed on Tuesday of this week, and he's starting for the Titans. That's not optimal.
Trying to get something going with McCluster, and a busted play there for Tennessee. Not much doing, but we spoke to Ken Whisenhunt about all these injuries that Steve Tasker was just mentioning. He said in 26 years he's never seen this many injuries, and he also said his team was not deep coming in. And while John Idzik is certainly feeling the heat as the Jets general manager, Rustin Webster, the Tennessee general manager, also feeling some heat down here in Nashville.
Well, you don't get a new head coaching job like Ken Wisenhunt did if the team is set to go. They were thin coming into this year. They were trying to rebuild their roster, so you knew it would be hard. But injuries have also crushed them.
3rd down and 8 for the Titans at the Jets' 49-yard line. Locker flushed out. Keeps the play alive, fires on the run to a wide open Washington. Defender fell down, and Nate Washington has a Tennessee first down, a gain of 26.
This is Jake Locker at his absolute best. There aren't many quarterbacks that are going to be able to avoid this sack. Look at his ability to keep his balance right there. A lot of guys wouldn't have been able to keep it going. Get outside, makes a nice throw on the outside to the guy who has been a backbreaker for Rex Ryan and the New York Jets the last couple years. Nate Washington had 4 catches last year for over 100 yards, including a 77-yard touchdown. Rex Ryan told us we have got to stop number 85 in the passing game.
4 career games against the Jets. Washington has 3 touchdowns. It was Phillip Adams who fell down on that play in the Jets' second down. Sankey tackled from behind by Demario Davis as we get closer to 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
That last big play to Nate Washington, the Jets sent 6 guys. We talked to Rex Ryan. When you're facing an offensive line that's as depleted as Tennessee, what's the plan? Do you send just 3 or 4 guys knowing that they can't hold up even with 5 guys blocking, or do you send the house thinking you're going to make the play right then and there? And he said, we'll do both. And in that play, the big play, they sent 6 guys after Jake Locker. But if you got an athletic quarterback, sometimes it bites you.
Flag is down. Locker again to Washington. And he is tackled at the 11. That's good for a Tennessee first down if it stands. And it looks like this is going against Tennessee.
Illegal formation, offense, number 79 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Will replay, second down.
That's Jamon Meredith, who, as Steve Tasker said, he signed on Tuesday.
Well, those tackles start to inch back off the ball, and Meredith was lined up in the backfield because he was so afraid of the speed rush on the outside. He starts to cheat his stance, and there you see. Now, he's played 20 games over the last couple of seasons, but this is 4th team this year.
9th team in 5 years. Locker fires right. Washington with plenty of room, slips a tackle, and he picks up the first down. It was Adams who was playing off of Washington, and Locker found him for a gain of 14.
Just poor tackling. They had a chance to keep him short of converting there, and I believe it was Demario Davis that had a chance. No, actually it was not. It was Phillip Adams again making a play to cost his team a conversion, significant yardage. You got to make that tackle in the open field.
Tennessee 21st in red zone offense. The Jets defense has been an issue this year in the red zone, 27th in the NFL. McCluster up the middle, and he fights his way down to the 8-yard line.
McCluster is an interesting player. You think he shows flashes of stuff that that nobody else can do, but you look at the way he's been used. He had 2 catches last week for 10 yards, no rushing attempts, who totally disappeared. And that's the problem with if you've got a guy like that, and the Jets see it with Percy Harvin. You'd like to get him the ball all different kinds of ways, but it just becomes too much of a good thing, not enough of a good thing.
It's the 12th drive this year of at least 10 plays for the Titans. And now that's a bad snap. Locker falls on it. Only thing he could do. And some boos from the few fans that are actually here in Nashville.
Well, this one just got away from Chris Spencer. You see the ball. Jake Locker never had a chance. Did a good job just to get on top of this football. And you know, when you're a bad team, as the Tennessee Titans are this year, and the Jets as well, that these things seem to happen a lot more frequently. You got a good drive going. You're down inside the 10-yard line. You're thinking things are going well, then something like that is one of the most basic plays in football becomes a major issue.
A loss of 16, so it's 3rd and goal from the 22. Locker pressure coming, had to get rid of it. And coming right up the gut was Quentin Coples, forcing Locker to get rid of that quickly, and Tennessee will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, Coples comes right up the pipe from the defensive end spot, had his hand on the ground, took an inside rush, and just ran straight to Jake Locker's grill.
And one of the most important things for offensive line, as a football person knows, is the communication, identification. You got so many new parts up there up front for Tennessee. Obviously a miscommunication up front almost cost him a sack.
Ryan Succop 13 out of 16 on the year, kicking field goals. This from 40 yards, and the kick is good. Just tucks it in, and Tennessee is on the board. The Titans lead 3-0. Just a great moment a short time ago here in Nashville. A surprise military family reunion. The family of Staff Sergeant Larry Hayes thought they were being honored with a Salute to Service Recognition Award, and then Staff Sergeant Hayes surprised his wife Asuka and his kids Benjamin and Jessica, and that is just great stuff here in Nashville. Can't get enough of that. So 3:16 to go, first quarter, and Tennessee with a 3-0 lead. Actually rare to see the Titans with points on the board in the first half. They had not scored points in the first half in each of their last 2 games. In fact, they have the fewest first quarter points in the NFL this year.
Well, it's like a litany of negatives for both these teams offensively. Almost any statistic you want to bring up, you're going to find they're ranking near the very bottom.
Percy Harvin will not return kickoffs today, according to Rex Ryan. This is T.J. Graham. And Graham out to the 15-yard line. Geno Smith coming back right after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Game of War. Play free now. And by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
Jets looking for their first road win of the season. They lost all 8 on the road in 2005. They lost all 7 back in 1964. Tennessee only has 1 home win this year. Geno Smith out of the gun. He'll throw on first down. Steps up over the middle, and that pass is caught by Jeff Cumberland. Well, tomorrow on CBS, a special holiday episode of NCIS Los Angeles, so full of surprises, everyone will be talking about it. It's a jolly new NCIS Los Angeles tomorrow at 10/9 Central, only CBS. Gain of 9 for Cumberland, so it's 2nd down and 1. Geno back to the air over the middle, and that's caught by Decker for a first down. Tackle made by Michael Griffin, but a gain of 13 for Eric Decker.
Well executed play by the New York Jets. Good play action. Eric Decker, the big physical receiver on the outside. The window wasn't too big. You see Griffin right there breaking on. That ball had to be thrown on time, on the money. Geno Smith had a nice clean pocket, delivered a strike for a nice game.
First down of this quarter for the Jets. Chris Johnson spinning his way across the 40. And Rex Ryan told us that he thought Johnson would be popping out of his skin today for this one. 6 seasons in Tennessee, over 1,000 yards every single year with the Titans, including over 2,000 back in 2009. He's the 3rd leading rusher in franchise history, and he was a little upset with the way he was dumped at the end of last year because Tennessee did not cut him right away. He ended up signing with the Jets, 2 years, $8 million. In trouble. Rolling right. Flag is down. It's caught by Sudfeld. Going down the sideline. This one likely coming back, but Sudfeld all the way to the 15-yard line. There are 3 flags back at the line of scrimmage.
And this is going to be a hold on the Jets.
Holding. Offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
That's on the right tackle, Giacomini.
And this is just... It happened so early in the play as Geno Smith breaks contain. You're going to see him come out, and Giacomini just doesn't release Morgan fast enough. Derek Morgan trying to spin out of the block, and 3 flags flew in simultaneously. Couldn't get away from it. The free agent from Seattle, Giacomini, trying to help Smith get to the outside, and that's exactly the kind of thing that has plagued this Jet team.
It wipes out a 43-yard gain to Zach Sudfeld. It backs up the Jets to the 31.
That's one of those hidden yardage things. A 43-yard gain becomes a 10-yard loss.
Final minute of the first quarter. As Johnson out of motion to the slot. And now a whistle and delay of game against the Jets.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And that's an awareness thing, you know, but that also goes to the coaching staff as well, because the quarterback, when he's getting down inside that 7.65 second mark, if the coaches are aware as well, they can call a timeout on the sideline. But I'm not passing the buck. It always starts with the quarterback. You see it more often with a young quarterback. Geno Smith has got to be more aware of that situation.
So now it's 2nd and 21 for the Jets. Good protection, Geno over the middle, incomplete. He's looking for Jeremy Curley.
Yeah, this week Geno Smith was a little run through the ringer in the New York media for telling people that he had swung all the way from being Pro Bowl, flashes of a Pro Bowl quarterback, to not such a good quarterback, and he kind of got a little bit beat up by it, but really his point was true. I've stood on the sidelines for a couple of Jet games this year and this one as well. There are times when Geno Smith slings it like anybody needs him to. The guy can make all the throws, and then there are other times like that one where you wonder who he was even throwing the football to.
3rd and 21. Smith will keep it himself, and the Jets will punt. And Geno told us that as soon as he said the Pro Bowl flashes, that he knew that was a trigger word that would create headlines, and yes, he was right. And he said that's not his point. He knows that he's not at that level, but he is very confident in himself and believes that one day he can be a Pro Bowl quarterback, but certainly not at that level right now, as we have zeros on the clock, the end of the first quarter, with the Tennessee Titans leading 3-0. 2 drives for Geno Smith and the Jets. They've only gained 36 yards as we start the second quarter here in Nashville. 4th and 19 for New York, and Quigley will punt it away to McCluster. McCluster from his own 20. McCluster, as a flag comes in, and McCluster all the way up to the 43-yard line. Return of 23 for McCluster, but now we await the call from John Parry's crew.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 36, 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
It's on Khalid Wooten, who was just promoted off the practice squad by Tennessee. As we take a look at the up to the second standings in the AFC playoff picture, the Patriots clinch the AFC East, the Colts clinch the AFC South today, and Denver can clinch the AFC West if they can beat San Diego. Right now, Denver leads San Diego 3-0.
And that game is in San Diego as well, so it makes the task a little bit tougher for the Broncos.
Big win for the Bills today to get to 8-6 as they beat the Packers. On first down, Tennessee keeping it on the ground with McCluster, who's seen a lot of runs so far in this first half. He only played 5 snaps on offense last week in the loss to the Giants. We've seen a bunch of McCluster so far, and there's an injured Jet down on the field, and that's the rookie Calvin Pryor. Starting today for DeJuan Landry. So clock is stopped with 14:30 to go, and we'll step aside here in Tennessee. Jets first round pick Calvin Pryor still on the ground as the medical staff attends to him, and he just sits up, which is certainly a good sign.
Well, Pryor just remains down. If you get we'll get a quick look at it right here, and he'll kind of go down, slips there, goes down, and then the pile goes out. It looks like it almost gets his gets his shoulder caught up almost, but I don't know what it is right here now.
Now watch his head.
Yeah, his head goes down. It's impossible to tell what the issue might be as he's starting to walk off the field.
So we certainly hope the Jets' #1 pick, 18th overall in the 2014 draft, is okay as he slowly walks to the Jets sideline. And now DeJuan Landry will come in to replace Calvin Pryor. So Tennessee with a 1st and 10 from its own 36-yard line. They lead it 3-0 with the Steves, Berline, and Tasker. I'm Andrew Catalan, our entire NFL on CBS crew. Sean Green running on the right side has some room. And Green with a gain of 8. On 1st down, Darren Walls makes the tackle.
You can see Sean Green walking over and slapping hands with Chris Johnson. Those two guys trading teams in the long run. Sean Green started his career as a Jet. And of course, Chris Johnson we've been talking about as Sean Green got tackled out of bounds, walked up to Chris Johnson. They both laughed and slapped hands, realizing they've traded uniforms.
2nd year for Green here in Tennessee. Does not have a 100-yard rushing game. 3 carries, 17 yards so far today, and they go back to Green, and that time he doesn't get past the line of scrimmage. Sheldon Richardson bringing down Green.
Sheldon Richardson, what a pick he was last year out of University of Missouri. 3 sacks last week, and one of them for a safety in their game. And this is a very stout run defense, 5th-ranked run defense in the NFL. So Houston's going to have to try and find ways to make plays through the air. One of the issues they have, though, is with Kendall Wright down today, they only have 3 wide receivers active. That's pretty thin.
Saw the Jets training staff still attending to Pryor on the Jets sideline. 3rd and 2 for Tennessee. And Locker misfires. Leon Washington was wide open, and Locker wants that one back.
Yeah, this is one of those throws that Jake Locker really wants back. You got to make this throw. Sometimes the easiest throws are the most difficult when you know a guy's wide open. You kind of aim it a little bit right there. All he's got to do is get that down and catchable for Leon Washington, and that's an easy 1st down.
Yeah, he throws this one high and inside. It's got to be low and to his outside shoulder. That was just a bad toss.
Jeremy Curley back deep to receive this punt for the Jets. Curley calls for a fair catch at the 6-yard line. Jets trying to get something going on offense. They trail 3-0. Jets owner Woody Johnson is here in Nashville today, and he has some major decisions coming up over the next few weeks. His general manager John Idzik on the left, head coach Rex Ryan on the right. Steve Berline, if you were Woody Johnson, who would you bring back next year as the Jets start this drive on their own 7-yard line?
Well, there's a lot of different schools of thought on all this stuff. I think most people recognize the fact that Rex Ryan most likely will not be back next year. The big question is around John Idzik, and has he built enough of a case for himself inside that organization to warrant giving him another draft, another opportunity to bring in some impactful free agents. So far, it's been very, very questionable at best.
Geno Smith in trouble, and there he lost the ball. Ball came out. Jarrell Casey was the man that got to Geno Smith first. It looked like he was going down for a safety, and then the ball popped out.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to get the ball out of the end and make it look like he was throwing a pass, or if it popped out of there.
Yeah, well, this is one time when you hope Geno Smith fumbled the ball if you're a Jet fan, because this is going to turn into 2 points, and he throws that ball out of the air. That's intentional grounding, and that's going to be a safety.
Fumble.
And if I'm
New York,
Ken Wisenhunt's got to throw the red flag and challenge this, because that was nothing short of a forward pass.
It's called a fumble on the field.
Yeah, that's, if you got to challenge that if you're Ken. There he is. Ken Wisenhunt just threw it, and Geno Smith flips that ball forward deliberately in the grasp of Jarrell Casey.
Previous play of a fumble.
This is going to turn in
a forward pass from the end zone. If it is a forward pass, it would be a safety since the foul occurred in the end zone.
Now the question is, was his knee down also before he threw the ball out? See, is that, no, his knee does not touch. That right knee almost did, but I think it's a safety.
Yeah, this will be overturned.
After reviewing the play, prior to the knee being down, it was a forward pass from the end zone with no eligible receiver in the area. Therefore, by rule, it's a safety. Tennessee is not charged with the first team timeout.
So it turns into a penalty, and Mike Carey, part of our CBS staff, can you walk us through why they can go back and then call a penalty in replay?
Well, in replay, no part of intentional grounding is reviewable. So this, in my opinion,
Well, that is
a
the
mistake.
question, is whether or not you can go back, and you ruled it a fumble.
They ruled
When
it
you rule it
a fumble on the
Yes,
field. Jarrell Casey pulls him down, and no question, it is intentional grounding, but there was no penalty called because the official thought the ball was knocked out of his hands.
And correct. Since it's clear that it's a pass, the only reviewable aspect is it complete or incomplete, and that should be an incomplete pass. Intentional grounding is not reviewable in this particular case.
That's exactly
So
what
I
we're
think
talking about. You can't go back and say, well, it was a forward pass, so now we're going to call a penalty.
But they did
Correct.
that. But they just did that.
Yes.
So in
Yes,
your
and
mind, Mike, you don't think they got that right by the letter of the law?
They did not get that right in this situation.
Well, they got the call right, but they did it in such a way that it should have been illegal for the referees to do that, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Well, I don't. Then there's your question: is it better for them to get it right, or is it better for them to follow the rules? In this case, we thought that it was going to turn into it should have been called intentional grounding, but was not, and that's going to be an interesting story that follows this game after it's over.
Mike Carey,
Correct. What
thank
you want
you.
to be is consistent.
So a free kick and the ball is out. Good times continue to roll here between the Jets and Titans. And no signal yet. Jets indicating that they have the football. But again, we have not seen a signal.
And that is, I don't care if you're 2-11, 0-16, or 16-0. You're fighting for the ball and your life under that pile.
Still trying to sort this one out. And it is
Come
Jets
out of it.
football. So
TJ Graham comes out of the bottom of the pile with the ball.
The ruling on the field is a muffed free kick recovered by the New York Jets. 1st and 10, New York.
So after that call really goes against the Jets, it shouldn't have been intentional grounding with the safety. They get the ball right back.
So it hits Graham first. He's on his back. It rolls over, and the ball pops right to him there underneath. And then somehow, some way, he comes out with that thing.
Leon Washington, one of the most reliable return men in the history of the NFL, took his eyes off just the last second as that ball was getting there. That's what caused the fumble. Or the muff.
So Washington with his 3rd fumble of the season, but the first time he's lost a fumble as he muffs the free kick. And now the Jets with great field position at the Tennessee 40-yard line.
And Leon Washington there. You don't get that many opportunities on special teams, and when you have a huge mistake like that one, man, it sticks with you. You have to sit over on the sidelines and stew about it until the next time you can actually get on the field, and that's an uncomfortable spot to be in.
So 5-0. Tennessee on top of New York. 12:04 to go first half. Smith to the air on first down, sets up the screen to Chris Johnson. Flag is down. Johnson, following a block of Cologne, gets all the way inside the 25-yard line. Michael Griffin makes the tackle, but this penalty appears to be going against the Jets.
Pass interference, offense number 33.
Oh, wow.
10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
It's a screen pass.
So Chris Ivory is down the field blocking before the ball comes out of the quarterback's hand. And we've seen a lot of this year where teams get discombobulated right right here. He's going to come out and get ahead of the screen pass and Chris Johnson and engage the defender down the field before the ball's let loose in the backfield. And that technically is a penalty, although the timing is bang, bang.
Jets now have 4 penalties for 31 yards in the first half. Ivory on the carry running left. And we go back to New York. Mike Carey just spoke with the Vice President of Officiating, Dean Blandino. What did he have to say, Mike?
Well, what he said is that John Perry, prior to the announcement of the fumble, said that if it was a pass, he would have ruled intentional grounding. So that puts intentional grounding in play. And so when he goes into the booth and sees it was a pass, he can go with what his ruling would have been prior.
That's interesting, because if you set it up before you actually see the play in review and you say, hey, if this happened, we are going to call a penalty, that to me does make sense. And that's correct. You got that ruling right and correct.
You got it right.
I got you. That makes sense.
All right, Mike, thank you very much for your assistance back in New York. As Decker makes the catch, it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Jets after a gain of 10 by Decker. A lot going on for a game between 2 and 11 teams. Jets are 0 for 2 on 3rd down in this first half.
Nice 2-1, we're in the hole!
Smith with time over the middle, and it's caught. But well short of the first down is Decker. Michael Griffin immediately makes the tackle, and it's 4th down for the Jets.
Well, you could sense that Geno Smith wanted to get this ball pushed up the field and take a shot at picking up the first down. Great job by the Tennessee Titans secondary. Nobody was open, forcing Geno Smith to take the check down, and then a nice tackle by Michael Griffin, keeping him well short of converting.
Yeah, the Titans did a nice job of keeping the lid on the defense in the secondary and forced Geno to pump it, hold it, and just not have to go short for the pass.
So on 4th and 5, Rex Ryan sends out Nick Folk for a 53-yard field goal attempt. He's 2 out of 3 from 50+ this year, and Folk, no good. Just a hair short. And the Jets still scoreless with 9:24 to go in the first half. Folk needed a hair more on that one. It's still 5-0 in favor of the Titans. Back in Nashville, 9:24 to go first half. Jake Locker and the Titans have a 5-0 lead. They'll start this drive at their own 42-yard line. Locker hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Now let's go back to after that missed field goal by Folk and take a look at what he did as he walked to the sideline. He was putting up 3 in his hand. 3 fingers on each hand. And then Louis Aguiar, the assistant special teams coach, comes over, and those two get into it a little bit.
Look, Folk can't believe it. He said, I told you my number was 52, not 53. And I told you you hit it 52.
And he's saying, well, hit it from 53.
Right.
What the heck?
Right.
The kickers, they speak their own language anyway. Who knows what they were saying?
Locker to Delaney Walker to midfield.
Louis
Tackle
Aguiar
made by Darren Walls.
The assistant special teams coach, Louis Aguiar, you saw in the picture right there, is a former punter. So I don't know that they probably speak some sort of the same language, don't you think? Isn't that a dialect thereof? Folk very unhappy walking off the field, as you would be as a kicker, missing a kick right down the pipe and having it hit the crossbar.
Never a dull moment on the Jets sideline as it's 3rd and 3.
Day. It's a pretty frustrating day.
Locker to Walker, and great tackle made by DeJuan Landry. Immediately hitting Walker and stopping him short of a first down.
Well, this has been an area of frustration for Rex Ryan. 3rd down defense, normally the Jets calling card this year, been very, very poor. One of the worst in the NFL, but right there, a really nice play by Landry and a 3rd and short situation. But Rex Ryan was openly frustrated talking. He said, that is the area where my teams have always dominated. This year, not so much.
Well, they did a nice job there, but it always helps, too, when the offensive line of your opponents are kind of a wreck.
return, kicking to Curley. Fair catch at the 10-yard line. 7:58 to go, second quarter. Jets trail 5-zip. 7:58 to go, second quarter. Tennessee leads 5-0. Rex Ryan told us that 2 years ago when he played Ken Whisenhunt's Cardinals, it was the worst game he's ever been a part of. Jets won 7-6 with Greg McElroy throwing the game-winning touchdown. He called it a pillow fight against Ken Whisenhunt. I don't want to know Rex's thoughts so far in this one, as it's 5-0. Tennessee on top of the Jets. Chris Ivory on the carry and not much doing. McElroy beat Ryan Lindley in that game.
Yeah, who now is the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals with the injuries to Carson Palmer and Bruce Stanley. Right here, just a good physical play by the Tennessee Titans defense. A little bit of extracurricular there by Patoa Tua.
Former Jet. Gino, play action, and that pass is caught by Owusu, just his third catch of the season. We mentioned off the top that many fans of these teams think the winner today is actually the loser as they chase that #1 pick in the draft. And not good news for Jets and Titans fans who feel that way, as Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, and Oakland all lost earlier today. So the winner today is in trouble in terms of the #1 pick. 3rd down and 1. Jets have not converted on 3rd down yet. Gino pitches it to Johnson. And Johnson has a first down.
There's so much going on in the Jets organization. We spoke to Rex Ryan yesterday, and you mentioned it just a moment ago, how the players are really still playing, and that's been the mantra with the Jets, is they're going to take some tempo here. The players on the Jet team really love playing for Rex Ryan. They have, even when they were going to championship games, and of course it's continued even though these last couple of seasons have been extremely rough. The players love playing for the guy, but that has not translated into wins.
Calvin Pace told us he wants to finish strong for Rex. Pressure coming. Gino gets rid of it quickly. And Powell spins away from one, but then wrapped up by Woodyard. Well, tonight, our dangerous mentally ill patients denied care. A 60 Minutes investigation tonight, only CBS. Talking about winning today. Actually, you're losing. Breno Giacomini said, what, we haven't lost enough this year? You want us to keep losing? Losing right now, 5-0, 2nd down and 7. Ivory at running back. And the Jets give this to Percy Harvin. And Harvin has a Jets first down.
You see Harvin as he comes around this end around. He's another big question mark that follows this Jet team as he's going to come from this direction. Did they bring Percy Harvin back, a guy who came into the Jets midseason with a little bit of baggage, a little bit of stuff going around about he wasn't a great teammate? The Jets have said they've been extremely happy with him.
Now the direct snap to Ivory. And he gets around the edge on the outside, shoved out of bounds by George Wilson. Well, it's definitely a decision for the Jets on Percy Harvin, one of many decisions they'll have to make. He's due to make $10.5 million next year, and he told the New York Daily News that he would not accept a pay cut to come back and play for the Jets. So what do the Jets do with Percy Harvin?
I think they make him a free agent. I don't think they've seen enough of him, and I think as hard as he's played, he's been on his best behavior.
Ivory again goes past Klug and out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Well, I think when Percy Harvin thinks about it, when push comes to shove, he's going to probably reconsider that stance that he's taken. Of course, it's a poker game a lot of times in these situations, but there's nobody's going to give him $10.5 million at this point. I don't think, based on the fact he's been hurt so much during his career and he's been the baggage that has trailed him from Seattle to New York, I don't think he's going to get that kind of a contract. I think the Jets, if they make him a fair offer, might have a chance of bringing him back.
And Geno Smith just throws this one away. The other thing to consider is who is he coming back to as his quarterback? And that's got to factor in to his thought. Who's his coach? Who's his GM?
That's right, and that's the big question as well. And you talk about, and we said that, hey, Rex Ryan's a great players coach. The players like him, but let's face it, this has been, they've run their course here in New York, and there's a lot of people, the big question is how deep is the knife going to cut in New York? Is it going to go all the way to the general manager spot, John Idzik?
It's 3rd and 5 for the Jets. Geno Smith fires left to Decker right at the sticks, and with that spot, he's got a first down.
You know, there's so much swirling around, and I do not think you bring Percy Harvin back for $10.5 million without a quarterback in place. You spend a lot of money on Eric Decker as the #1 receiver. A lot of people think Eric Decker's a good #2 receiver, but not a #1 receiver. And then there are other issues as well, and I don't think overpaying for a Percy Harvin, who is a flashy player on the offensive side, I don't think he's consistent enough to earn that kind of, or merit that kind of paycheck.
Chris Johnson on the carry. 4 first downs on this drive for the Jets as we tick inside 3 minutes to go first half.
Well, on that point, though, the Jets are going to have a lot of cap space next year, between $35 and $40 million. So they're going to be able to go out and get some people. But the problem is, you invested into a Percy Harvin like that, or Eric Decker, another. I believe you do need another #1 receiver.
Winning teams don't waste money.
Geno looking for the deep ball to Harvin, incomplete.
But my point to you is I don't think that is wasting money. If you find a way to get Percy Harvin to agree to a lesser salary, you've got money to spend. You brought him in here. This is a team that has desperately needed playmakers. This guy had 6 catches for 124 yards last week.
I get you.
Minnesota. He can play the game.
I get you, but here's the thing. He's got to take a pay cut.
No doubt about it. I agree.
He's got
100%.
to take a pay cut or he's gone, and you don't look back.
I agree.
Rams! Hey, money!
3rd down and 9 for the Jets.
No safety back for the Titans defense.
Geno again looking for a deep ball, incomplete. TJ Graham, the closest receiver, and it's 4th down.
Graham never saw the football coming.
Well, you're going to see there's absolutely no safety back here in the middle of the field. There's nothing going on back there. And so that means the blitz. They did come with pressure. Geno Smith did the right thing. He rushed it a little bit, though. He had a little bit more time. Could have let his receiver get a little bit over. TJ Graham, I think, might have won over the top and could have found that football if Geno would have held it for a split second longer.
3rd punt for Quigley. McCluster drifting to his right. Fair catch at the 5. There's a flag down, and Quigley got hit.
Yeah, that's an easy call for the official. He got full body blocked, coming up right through the middle.
Running into the kicker, number 58. Penalty's been declined. First down, New York. Timeout on the field. Correction, Tennessee.
First down, Tennessee. When we come back, it's Tennessee football as the running into the kicker was only 5 yards, not enough for a Jets first down. So while we were away, Rex Ryan changed his mind, thinking, hey, wait a minute, 4th and 3. Now I've got a 51-yard field goal attempt, so I'm going to send Nick Folk out there, and that's exactly what he does. Remember, he missed from 53. This one from 51. And he is good. Barely, but he's good. And the Jets are on the board with 2:08 to go. It's 5-3. So Rex Ryan sending Folk out, and it pays off. We've got a 2-point game in Nashville. Rookie quarterback Blake Bortles and the Jaguars take on these Titans in an AFC South clash on Thursday Night Football live on NFL Network, and then the season wraps up with a special Saturday edition. Philadelphia at Washington on NFL Network at 4, and San Diego at San Francisco on CBS and NFL Network, with coverage starting at 7:30. Football starts here. So Rex Ryan thinking quickly and sending Folk out for the field goal, and Folk converts. Rex in his 6th season with the Jets, the 4th straight year that he will miss the playoffs, and it seems like all indications are Rex Ryan will not be back with the Jets. And you know what? That is not necessarily the most popular opinion among Jets fans. There's a lot of Jets fans who would rather that Idzik is out the door than Rex, but it already seems like Rex will be a free agent coming up in a few weeks.
Well, for those of you who are new to the game, what happens is, and the dispute is, the general manager of just about every NFL team picks the players that supply the coaches with their roster, and the coach decides how those players are used and who plays. This roster with Rex Ryan, he went to the championship game twice with a rookie quarterback, Mark Sanchez, got there again in Mark Sanchez's second year, and as the roster has eroded around him, his team has suffered. And I think a lot of people know, I mean, when you get a guy who's a handful of plays away from getting the team to the Super Bowl, he's not the guy you want to get rid of.
And I had a chance. I got to know Rex. I played for the Arizona Cardinals when he was on the staff. I absolutely think the world of him, as all players do. He is a fantastic football coach. I think truly the most innovative and most impactful defensive coach in the NFL today.
Washington on the return out to the 20-yard line with 2:04 to go. Well, if you listen to talk radio or read the papers, there's a lot more venom for John Idzik these days than Rex Ryan. In fact, some Jets fans have even put up a billboard off Route 3 near MetLife Stadium. Fire Idzik or sell the Jets, a message to Woody Johnson.
Well, they do have, I mean, you think about a team that didn't upgrade significantly enough, and you look at the draft. Now, they did draft a few wide receivers, none of which are helping this team right now in a year when wide receivers are falling off the trees.
Also a website, firejohnidzik.com, and they're planning to hand out towels for fans who will go to the Patriots game next week, as Locker is hit hard by Quentin Coples. And Jake Locker is down.
He had no idea the blitz was coming off the edge. He's got to be aware of that. And, man, he paid the price there. A big shot right as he let go of that football.
Locker in pain on the ground after the hit from Coples. It's the 2-minute warning. Will we see Charlie Whitehurst when we come back? Charlie Whitehurst is your quarterback for Tennessee right now, as Jake Locker is off with an injury on 2nd and 10. Whitehurst nearly picked off by David Harris. Well, this is an all too familiar sight for Tennessee fans, and it's Jake Locker walking off the field. Here's the injury.
The pressure's coming here. Coples comes off the edge. This is on Jake Locker. The inside pressure is all picked up by the lineman. Locker's got to know there's pressure coming off the outside that is unblocked, not picked up. He was not aware, so he kind of brought that on himself. It's a terrible luck for him. Every time something bad can happen, it does happen to him, but that's one he brought on himself.
3rd and 10, screen to Washington, and he is tackled for a 2-yard gain, and Tennessee will have to punt. Jets have 3 timeouts remaining.
Sheldon Richardson, the big guy, getting on the outside to stop that screen pass. Charlie Whitehurst, all too familiar, is actually, his numbers are probably, in the limited work he's gotten, are better than Mettenberger's and Locker's for the season. But Charlie Whitehurst, even by his own admission, is not the guy that they're looking for to be a long-term solution at quarterback. He is a stopgap guy. Ken Wisenhunt brought him over from Arizona because he knew, or from San Diego, excuse me, last year, and knew he would help the offense, help those other 2 guys pick up the offense.
So the Jets did call one of their timeouts. They have 2 remaining with 1:44 to go. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as a preview of a special Thursday Night Football doubleheader this Saturday on CBS and the NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. That's Zach Mettenberger in the hat. He is injured, the rookie 6th-round pick out of LSU, and one of the many decisions the Titans have to make in the offseason. Is he their guy moving forward? Curley with the catch at the 24, and he goes out of bounds. So 2 timeouts for Geno Smith and the Jets, 1:36 on the clock. But if you're a team and you're looking at Jake Locker as a free agent, it's hard to commit a lot of money to him when the guy just can't stay on the field.
We've spent a lot of time talking about Jake Locker on our own this week, and the whole point of this last 3-game stretch for him was to show he could play 3 consecutive games without getting hurt. And he gets halfway through the first game, and That looked like a significant injury to me right there. I don't think he'll be back today. And that is going to seal the deal as far as the mentality other teams have about Jake Locker.
It's a shoulder injury. His return is questionable. Jason Morrow makes the catch and some room to run. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Morrow missed the last 2 games because of a concussion, a gain of 20.
Yeah, and you talk about the Titans, and it just gets worse and worse on the injury front. And that play right there, unfortunately, for all the things that have happened to Jake Locker, being drafted here, having a 4-year career here, that was probably his last play as a Tennessee Titan.
Geno running left and runs out of bounds at the line of scrimmage, chased by Wilson and Morgan.
So when you talk about Geno Smith and what's going on at his, we met with him yesterday, and that's the first time I've had a chance to really sit and talk with him. I was very impressed with how he carried himself, how he was accountable to the areas where he's come up short. His consistency is something he knows he's got to work on.
Long Powell across midfield to the 48.
And I found him in general to be very, very impressive.
Jets called a timeout there, so they only have 1 remaining. As you see, Rex Ryan, he celebrated his 52nd birthday yesterday, and he was excited when we met with him last night because he was going out to dinner with his dad, Buddy Ryan, who is at the game today. First time that Buddy has been to a game since the Jets played the Saints, and Rex went against his brother Rob. Johnson stuffed by Klug. And it's 4th down.
That was just played well by the Titan defensive front. There was just absolutely nowhere to run this football as he cut back into what should have been a crease in the defense. Klug gets around the reach block and turns it into a 2-yard loss.
And I don't understand why Ken Wisenon is not calling timeout here. He's basically saying, I just want to go to the locker room and end this half.
Well, I think that's a reflection on the Jake Locker absence. I mean, he's not going to put Charlie Whitehurst out there, and the first throw that Whitehurst made should have been a pick 6. So he's quite ready to come out in the second half and regroup.
I disagree. I mean, you can go for a block punt. You can have the punt snap dropped, and you may get good field if you stop the clock. I think you should have used the clock.
Yeah, at least see what the return is, if there is one.
Exactly.
The cluster lets this one bounce, and it goes into the end zone with 13 seconds on the clock. NFL fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLshop.com to save 20% and get free shipping over $50 at the official store of the NFL. Well, Steve Tasker mentioned it, nearly a pick 6 by David Harris a short time ago off the Whitehurst throw.
Yeah, that was the fault of the receiver. That was, I believe, Salim Hakeem that was coming across the middle of the field
He's on the
I'm
Jets.
sorry. That's my fault on that one. Who was that coming across the middle of the field? Nate Washington, 85, coming across, and that wasn't even looking for that ball.
What an entertaining first half. For a 5-3 game, there was actually a lot going on there. That's the end of the first half. Tennessee leads 5-3. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS. Start of the third quarter in Nashville. The Titans lead the Jets 5-3. Time now for our Bose game changer. And it was Geno Smith in trouble in his own end zone. Jarrell Casey applying the pressure. And after review, it was ruled an intentional grounding and a safety. And right now that is the difference in the game as Tennessee leads 5-3. A rather appropriate score for a pair of 2-11 teams. Back in the booth with the Steves, Berline and Tasker. I'm Andrew Catalon. Jets had a major advantage, we thought, coming in, running the football, second in the league in rushing offense against the Titans, who are last in the league in rushing defense, but the Jets with just 49 yards rushing in that first half.
Well, that's the problem, and one of the reasons the Jets haven't been successful is because they can't convert on third down, and it's shocking to see that they can't get into third down and manageable. They've been in third and medium plus all game, and it's because their run game on first and second down has been unproductive. You see
Average
there,
149 yards per game. Only Seattle averages more, but today just 49 in the first half. Meanwhile, Jake Locker questionable to return after this big hit from Quinton Coples.
Yeah, unfortunate. There was the one thing that we were all looking for as far as Jake Locker. Could he put 3 games together, stay healthy, play well, and show that he could play the position for another team? Unfortunately, he took the big hit. He missed the blitz pickup, took the shot. Charlie Whitehurst is now in for the Tennessee Titans, and we have not heard anything definitive yet on the injury to Jake Locker, but it did not look good.
Officially listed as questionable to return with a shoulder injury, but right now it is Whitehurst, but it is the Jets who will start with the ball here in the second half. And Rex Ryan told us that Percy Harvin would not return kicks today. But guess who's back deep? Well, it's TJ Graham. That's who's returning kicks, not Percy Harvin. So still no Percy Harvin on the kick return unit. The Jets will start at the 20-yard line. Geno Smith coming back out. He was 9 out of 13 for 80 yards in that first half. But you look at what happened for the Jets. A safety, a missed field goal, and then Folk with the field goal after a 13-play drive to put the Jets on the board.
yeah, and the Jets really haven't even been close enough to threaten for a touchdown unless they're going to throw the long ball. And you know, they have stalled out just over midfield on all of their possessions, forcing punts and field goal tries have not been productive enough.
Jets are 0-9 when trailing at the half this year. First and 10. Smith will keep this one, slides down at the 23-yard line.
Now you mentioned, Steve, that the New York Jets have not been anywhere near the red zone, and they're playing against a team that not only ranks second worst in the NFL in rush defense, but they have allowed more opponents red zone possessions than any team in the NFL by far. But they've done a good job today keeping New York from even sniffing that area of the field.
Ivory on 2nd and 8, and tackled from behind by Patoa Tua, the former Jet. Played for Gang Green from 2008 to 2011.
This Geno Smith now going no huddle, and he's sure they had a meeting about it. It's a little bit of a muddle huddle. They make full substitutions to the receiving core and tight end core, but don't huddle. They stay right at the line of scrimmage. It puts a little extra pressure on the defense. Let's see if it pays off on the 3rd and 5.
Smith fires incomplete. Was trying to get it to Percy Harvin, but there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage. A busy first half for John Parry and his crew, and now an early flag here in the second half.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, offense number 66. Penalty's been declined, result of the play, 4th down.
That's on Willie Colon, so the Jets start this half by going 3 and out. .27% of the Jets' drives this year end in 3 and out. They're just slightly ahead of Tennessee. That's their second one today. McCluster to receive the punt. Fair catch called for as it goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line, and another flag is down back at the 38-yard line.
It's going to be holding against Tennessee.
During the kick, holding, return team number 57. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10, timeout on the field.
Penalty on Justin Staples. Charlie Whitehurst at quarterback when we come back to Nashville. We met with Ken Wisenhunt yesterday and said, just in case, Ken, in case Locker and Whitehurst got hurt, who would be your 3rd quarterback? And he said it would be wide receiver Chris Durham. Well, right now he's 2nd in line as Whitehurst starts this drive. Still no signs of Jake Locker, who's questionable to return with a shoulder injury. So it could be, if Whitehurst was to get hurt, the receiver Chris Durham who would come in to play quarterback.
Chris Durham also the third receiver, so he may play quarterback, but he won't have a 3 wide receiver package to throw to. It's bad in Tennessee. Their injuries are unbelievable, the length of their injury list.
Whisenhunt said he's never seen anything like it in his 26 years. Sean Green at running back, the former Jet, he gets the call here, and Green trying to push the pile forward across the 30. It'll be 3rd down and short for Tennessee. Titans came into the game 28% on 3rd downs. It's the worst conversion rate on 3rd downs in the NFL since the 2012 Arizona Cardinals, when Ken Whisenhunt was the head coach.
And the only consolation is that they're going against the 31st ranked 3rd down defense in the NFL as well. So it's just another.
It's a pillow fight. It's what it is.
Another one of those examples, exactly.
Whisenhunt's Cardinals were 25% on 3rd downs 2 years ago. Whitehurst in trouble, gets away, steps up. Charlie Whitehurst with a 1st down run. A gain of 12.
Well, really nice job by Charlie Whitehurst, showing that he has the ability to as well step up and pick up the 1st down with his wheels. Not known as a runner,
yeah,
but a good job right there.
But you're right. I mean, you got to think, if you're in the big picture, they need Whitehurst on the field right now. And the Jets, if they get a shot on him and he has to take a play off, it's curtains for the Titans.
Whitehurst stumps it over the middle to Green. He's got a little bit of room. Having the soft spot of the Jets defense, and the former Jet picks up a 1st down. 13 yards on the play from Whitehurst to Green.
Well, watch out, Charlie Whitehurst. As you said earlier, Steve, he has been in this offense longer than any other quarterback. He goes through his progressions. You can't really see it there, but understood exactly where his safety valve was. That was Sean Green sitting right. You see him looking left, looking right, and he says, "Up, where's my safety valve?" Sean Green right there. Nice pickup.
Good sign for the Jets is Calvin Pryor, who left in the 1st half with a shoulder injury, made the tackle on that play. Back in the game for Gang Green. 1st and 10. Whitehurst play action. Looking for Walker, incomplete. Coverage on the play by Jaquan Jarrett.
Whitehurst stepping up in the pocket, trying to fit that ball in there. Crowd wants a penalty. That's not going to happen. The ball was past Walker when he was grabbed by the defender trying to make the tackle. Jarrett.
Jets have struggled defending the tight end this year. They've allowed a league-high 12 touchdowns to opposing tight ends. Jake Locker has just run out of the Titans' locker room to the sideline as big tackle made there by Jason Babbitt. Locker does not have his helmet on, but at least he's back with his teammates on the Tennessee sideline, and he's putting a baseball cap on. So that would indicate he might be done, but no official word. Still questionable to return is what we're hearing from the Titans.
He's really hanging that left arm.
He's got a brace on his left arm there. That wasn't there in the 1st half, so we'll see if he's
trying to convince
somebody that he wants to go back in the game. And I tell you what, the Jets looking at an offensive line that's banged up, the 3rd quarterback in the game. Why don't you send pressure every play and put an enormous amount of pressure on Charlie Whitehurst and a banged up offensive line?
3rd down and 13. Whitehurst to Chris Durham. And that is a 1st down. Needed 13, they got 14.
The Jets do bring pressure, and Whitehurst gets this football off. Maybe they don't bring pressure because they don't have faith in their defensive secondary. As you see, it's an exotic blitz, 5 guys rushing. The linebackers don't get back deep enough to cover up the underneath route to Durham. Durham gets behind him. Whitehurst puts it over the linebackers in front of the corner and gets the completion.
And Durham 6'6". Charlie Whitehurst used that height to get it up and over those linebackers.
And again, the Jets' 3rd down defense continues to kill this team this year. Sean Green to the 30-yard line.
The Jets right now need to force the Titans to throw the football. Invite them to throw the football. You can't believe that Charlie Whitehurst, behind an offensive tackle that was signed on Tuesday, is going to beat you.
With only 3 wide receivers.
With 3 wide receivers that are healthy.
Well, they did just throw it, and they got 14
no
yards.
doubt.
This Jets secondary is not exactly the backbone of the defense. Green again. And Richardson, one of the Jets, closing quickly.
And this game has, as you see, McCluster and Leon Washington come onto the field. And Kaufman comes off. Andrews comes off. I mean, this is a place where you really got to do some things. If you're 2-11, and there's no question the Jets with Rex Ryan, they're pulling out all the stops. I think you got to consistently do it and make them deal with it. They may hit a play like they did on the last third down, but you got to keep going after this offense in that manner.
Titans 2 for 2 on third downs on this drive. Whitehurst to Washington. That's another Tennessee first down. Making the catch right in front of the rookie Marcus Williams.
Super throw and catch here. Charlie Whitehurst again under pressure, but showing that he's comfortable. He trusts his lineman and his protection. A nice shot there outside of Nate Washington. Good timing on that route. Nate Washington continues to be, that was a little bit of a low. Sheldon Richardson coming in low on Charlie Whitehurst, but Nate Washington continues to be a thorn in Rex Ryan on this defensive side.
Whitehurst has started 3 games this year because of all the injuries to Tennessee quarterbacks. He's got 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on the year. Again, it's Green. So Sean Green was inactive last week and only had 30 yards rushing in his last 8 games. He had been the forgotten man in the Tennessee backfield with the rookie Bishop Sankey getting the load of the carries, but Ken Wisenhunt has given the ball to Green 9 times today for 33 yards.
Well, Wisenhunt's a former player and a pretty good tight end, and he knows what it means to players who go play against the team that they left, and I think he's given Green a chance to do that.
There he is again. And he is smacked down at the line of scrimmage. Lige Douzable leading the charge for the Jets, and now Tennessee with another third down. It's 3rd and 7. We asked Rex Ryan about his third down defense, and he said, in the past, that's been my calling card. This year, the pieces are a little different, and we can't be as creative. And you see, 2nd worst in the NFL, and today Tennessee is 5 out of 10 on third downs, 3 for 3 on this drive. Whitehurst gets rid of it quickly, incomplete. He bounced that one, and Tennessee will have to settle for a field goal. But the fact that Rex can't be as creative on third downs speaks a little bit to what Jets fans believe in John Idzik, that he didn't do enough at cornerback and in the secondary this year to beef up the corners and allow Rex to be as creative as he had been in the past.
Well, yeah, the corners used to be a strength of this defense, a staple with Cromartie and Darrelle Revis out there. I mean, they were as solid a tandem of corners as you're going to find anywhere in the NFL, and they have not found anything close to that quality in the guys that have been brought in since.
Succop from 33 yards, and this one is good. 6:03 to go. It's 8-3 Tennessee.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. The all-new Volkswagen Golf family, 2015 Motor Trend Car of the Year. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Only one NFL game has ever ended 8-3. The Browns beat the Giants 8-3 back in December of 1950. TJ Graham back deep for the Jets. And Ryan Succop will kick it away for the Titans with 6:03 to go, 3rd quarter. Going to take this one out. And Staples makes the tackle at the 19-yard line. 8-3, the Titans lead. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Some people calling today the Marcus Mariota Bowl as you see the draft order, and not good news for Titans and Jets fans hoping to get that #1 pick, as Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, and Oakland all lost earlier today. Tiebreakers determined by strength of schedule, and Tampa Bay plays in the NFC South, which is not having a very good year. So that's bad news for Jets and Titans fans, as all three of those teams at 2-11 lost to become 2-12. As Geno Smith finds Decker, room to run. Eric Decker still going at the 20. Decker is in, touchdown! 81 yards! As we show those draft standings, there's some Jets fans probably unhappy to see that, but the Jets celebrated an 81-yard touchdown.
This play is all Geno Smith, and I'm going to show you. You're going to see Decker right here. It comes across the field, but watch where Geno Smith throws this football. He throws Eric Decker open. He puts the ball in the right spot over the top. Eric Decker makes the adjustment, and it's a touchdown. If that ball is thrown anywhere but there where he threw that ball, it is not complete, because that was very good coverage on the play by Griffin. We're going to check and see his feet. There's a question of whether or not he stepped out of that toe. Might be out. Yeah, this one's going to come back. But it was a heck of a throw by Geno Smith. I mean, it's hard to explain as a quarterback what a great throw that was.
They will take a look at this one. We're back to Nashville in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. The world needs more Straight Talk. And by McDonald's, official sponsor of the NFL. I'm loving it.
Well, anyone who thinks these two teams are just playing out the string, you miss what just happened while we were in commercial. A massive brawl broke out in the middle of the field. We're going to get an announcement from John Perry, and then we'll show you what happened. Jurrell Casey of the Titans was right in the middle of it with Geno Smith, but players came off the sidelines and ran to a massive scrum in the middle of the field. You can see Casey is hot. And here's how it started. Geno Smith and Casey saying a few words to each other. And there's Wesley Woodyard getting involved, and then it looked like somebody shoved Geno Smith in the head.
It looked like Casey popped him in the face mask, and then Nick Mangold saw Casey punch his quarterback, and then that's it. I mean, it's on. And you see Casey right in the middle of everything, and Casey was ready to take on the whole Jet team by himself.
After reviewing the play, the left foot stepped out of bounds with the ball at the 33-yard line. It'll be a first down at the 33-yard line. After the play was over, personal foul, defense number 99. That 15-yard penalty will be added on to the 33-yard line, 1st and 10, New York.
Well, that simple explanation doesn't do justice to the melee that happened after that play. And you can see there, no question, the foot's out of bounds, and then he runs all the way to the end zone. This play's going to go with the 10-yard penalty all the way down to the 23-yard line. And then this is the melee that happened. You can see, you can say you're 2-11, there's nothing on the line, but these guys are doing something really important to them, and they're not taking a back seat. And I mean, both benches were out there. I know Ken Wisenhunt ended up in the middle of it as well, but Jurrell Casey, you see, it all seems good-natured. Guys are smiling, and then they don't know. Then watch Jurrell Casey pops him right in the chin. And Geno, to his credit,
I think it actually was Wesley Woodyard that popped Geno in the chin. What's amazing is that with this entire scrum, there was only one penalty called.
Yeah,
and it was on Jurrell Casey. But there are Titans like Klug, who you saw, that actually came off the sideline and joined that scrum.
Well,
you're going to hear more about this during the week.
Right. This is not the end of this. These guys are going to get letters.
Mike Carey, our officiating expert back in New York. And Mike, why not more penalties, even some ejections and something like that? You don't see that very often in the NFL.
No, you don't. And during the administration of an instant replay, some areas of the field are left void, and that may have happened here. Clearly 99 threw a punch and hit another opponent. He should be ejected for that. And it probably all started with 59, the Titans taunting Geno Smith.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Certainly fines to come, but you would expect that at the very least Casey would have been ejected as Geno looks end zone and Decker not able to bring it in. Let's go back to that fight because, again, you don't see it with this many people involved very often.
Well, you see there, Casey comes up with the left hook across Giacomini. What happened? You know the offensive line of the Jets is going to be right in the middle of it because somebody punched their quarterback. So the offensive line are almost demanded to go in there, wait in there, and get something back. And Casey still on the field with his jersey sewn up. He was livid at the end of that.
Pair of 2-11 teams fighting it out here in the third quarter. The Titans lead 8-3. Smith to Graham inside the 10. And it's 1st and goal for the Jets.
Really nice job right there. You see Geno Smith standing strong in the pocket, hitting that slant route in there. Rex Ryan's got to be happy with not only the play of Geno Smith so far in this second half, but with the fact that his team is playing such inspired football at this point.
Ruled that just short of a first down, so it's 3rd and inches for the Jets. The initial spot appeared to give Graham the first. Instead, he was just short on 3rd and 1. Geno fires incomplete. Harvin wasn't looking for it, and now it's 4th and inches.
This is another one of those plays. We've had a chance a little bit earlier for a big play from Geno Smith up the field. He got a little bit antsy, rushed the throw a little bit, and they're going to go for it here on 4th and short. This one, he threw it a little bit early. He had time to let Percy Harvin get himself cleared and his head around. That pass should have been completed.
Yeah, and Avery Williamson, the rookie out of Kentucky, lost his footing, so Harvin was more wide open than any player today. And because he rushed the throw, it was an incompletion and not a touchdown.
Jets going for it on 4th and 1, 7 for 13 this year on 4th downs. Geno to the air, wide open, Connor, and he's in for a touchdown. John Connor. A 9-yard touchdown for Connor on his first catch of the season.
Well, the Jets finish off the drive where they had the long touchdown called back due to a step out of bounds. Geno Smith on the play-action rollout, and Connor is absolutely by himself.
You know what I like about this for the Jets side is Rex Ryan and Marty Morningwig showing confidence in the young quarterback Geno Smith to let him throw that pass in a 4th down key situation. He executed very well. They come away with a touchdown.
Jets will go for 1, attempt the extra point here by Folk, and it's good to make the score 10-8 with 4:34 to go. What a wild drive that was for the Jets. The melee at midfield. Geno Smith took a punch, and then on 4th down, Geno punched back to John Connor for the touchdown. Geno Smith to John Connor for a 9-yard touchdown on 4th down. And the Jets have taken a 10-8 lead with 4:34 to go in the third quarter. First career receiving touchdown for Connor, and now Quigley will kick it away. Leon Washington, the former Jet, back deep. And he's going to return this one. Washington up the middle. And Washington still going to the 40-yard line. He muffed the free kick in the first half, but a return of 46 right there for Leon Washington.
Well, we said in the first half when he muffed that punt and it led to the turnover, he comes back and he wanted to make amends for it. He was so upset with himself. We showed it on the sidelines. He had to wait an entire quarter and a half to get another opportunity, and he made the most of it. What a great job by really one of the truly great return men in the league.
8 career kick return touchdowns, tied for first all-time with Josh Cribbs. Charlie Whitehurst still at quarterback. Jake Locker is on the sideline, but questionable to return with a shoulder injury. So we approach 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Jets in search of their first road win of the season. Locker on the left, and that was Mettenberger on the right. He is inactive today with the shoulder injury.
Locker's left arm there with the new brace. That is not his throwing shoulder, so perhaps in a pinch they would give him the opportunity to go back in. It doesn't look like they want any part of Jake Locker in the game.
Whitehurst with a flag down, completes it to McCluster. And the tackle made by DeJuan Landry. But the Jets are indicating this is going against Tennessee. Been a busy day for John Perry.
Looks like they're going to call holding on the defense.
Holding, defense number 97. 5-yard penalty. Penalty includes automatic first down.
Yeah, it's on Calvin Pace, so an automatic first down for Tennessee.
Yeah, when Dexter McCluster was trying to get out on his pass rush, I think Calvin Pace grabbed the hold of him and
Well, I think McCluster was actually blocking him, and then when Pace beat the block, McCluster turned around and became eligible, and that's when Whitehurst found him. I don't think McCluster was an option in the beginning of that play, but turned into an outlet after he missed the block.
Whitehurst gets rid of it to Sankey. He's got some room to run. Sankey at the 40 and out of bounds at the 34-yard line. A gain of 18 for the rookie Bishop Sankey. Tomorrow on CBS, these geniuses don't fit in the world, but they're the only ones who can save it. A new episode of Scorpion tomorrow at 9/8 Central, only CBS. Sankey with just 3 carries today. But that catch goes for 18 yards and moves Tennessee all the way to the Jets' 34-yard line with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Green gets a couple. We go back to New York. An update with JB and Coach Cowher.
Peyton breaks a drought.
Yeah, in almost 10 quarters, his first touchdown pass. This one to Demaryius Thomas from 28 yards out. He takes it into the end zone, and Denver takes a 16-3 lead over the San Diego Chargers.
Andrew Catalon, Steve Tasker, and Steve Berline.
JB, thank you. Broncos trying to become the third team today to clinch the division. Patriots and Colts with wins earlier clinched the AFC East and AFC South, respectively. 2nd and 9, Whitehurst pass deflected, tipped at the line. Otherwise, Chase Kaufman was wide open as we take a look at the updated AFC playoff picture. And Pittsburgh with a big win today. Baltimore able to hold off Jacksonville. So right now, those teams at 9 and 5, the wild card leaders behind Cincinnati, who absolutely tore apart Johnny Manziel and the Browns today.
And if San Diego does find a way to come back and beat Denver, which doesn't look like it's going to happen, they would take one of those wild card spots as well.
3rd down and 9 for Tennessee. Whitehurst incomplete. Some contact by Landry, but no call on the pass intended for McCluster. Calvin Pace supplying pressure on Whitehurst, and now Tennessee sends out its kicker, Ryan Suckup.
And they're going to try and take the lead with this 3-point at Whitehurst. You can see, and you mentioned it, Steve Berline, Whitehurst does seem comfortable in the pocket, even though he couldn't put this ball on McCluster. That was a good non-call by the officials. That was a bang-bang play at the other end, and those, by definition, are not supposed to be called.
Suckup is the only kicker this year without an attempt of more than 50 yards. This is from 51 for the 6-year man out of South Carolina. And it is good. His first field goal from more than 50 yards since September of last year.
Not much room to spare, but no doubt about it.
So Suckup puts the Titans back on top, 11-10.
Now, you don't think it means something to these coaches? They want to win this football game. It's in their blood. It's in their DNA. Everybody on this football field, they are not thinking about draft position.
They're not they're not thinking about draft picks or anything. They're not thinking about the big picture. You got the guys on the Jet sideline. The Jets their whole organization is at a crossroads this offseason. It's going to be an entirely new organization that takes the field opening day, in my opinion, of 2015. Ken Whisenhunt, finishing up his first year at the helm here in Tennessee, knows they have a long way to go, but starting to formulate what his team is going to look like.
Well, Rex Ryan said Percy Harvin would not be back deep because of the sprained ankle to return kicks. Percy Harvin back deep to return this kick from Ryan Suckup. And it's returnable. Harvin sneaks through across the 25, and Harvin all the way up to the 32-yard line. A return of 33 yards for Percy Harvin. Next Sunday, the playoff push rolls on. First, Alex Smith and the Chiefs meet Big Ben and the Steelers. And then Andrew Luck and the Colts tough it out with Tony Romo and the Cowboys and Big D. It all starts with JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, and Boomer on the NFL Today. Amazing that we're already up to week 16 next week, and that'll be a big one between the Colts and the Cowboys here on CBS. 1st and 10 for the Jets. They trail by 1. Smith over the middle, caught. That's his tight end Cumberland with his second catch of the day, and it's good for a New York first down. Cumberland only had 1 catch in his last 6 games coming in, but now 2 today for the 5th-year man out of Illinois. Johnson, he's been pretty quiet today in his homecoming. 7 carries for 14 yards.
Jets continue to go no huddle here. Owusu comes in for 1 play to give Harvin a break. Now Harvin back on the field.
And we thought that the Jets would just run it down Tennessee's throat. Tennessee is last in the NFL in rush defense, but the Jets have thrown more times than they've run the football today. This is a Tennessee team that's allowed an average of 41 points per game over the last 3 games. Jets have 10 here, and they're forced to call timeout with 37 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Well, it's the last week to vote for the 2015 Pro Bowl. You can select the best players regardless of conference. And then Chris Carter and Michael Irvin will draft teams as alumni captains. Vote now at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot. The voting ends on Monday night. So Jets are forced to call a timeout here. Late 3rd quarter on 2nd and 8 with 37 seconds remaining. As you see the offensive numbers today for both teams. Jets with 216 yards, but just 57 on the ground.
You mentioned, Andrew, that the Titans have been giving up an average of 41 the last 3 weeks, but you're talking about the 29th and 30th ranked offenses in the NFL as far as scoring points. These 2 teams on the field, so they're not exploding against many people.
Smith rolls out, has to get rid of it, and just throws it away. Took a shot from Sammy Hill after he delivered that pass.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a questionable shot there by Sammy Hill. I think very close to maybe drawing a little bit of attention from the referee. This was an unnecessary hit at the end there. You see kind of coming in a little shove. Yeah, not a big deal, but you know, a lot of referees get that trigger finger when you hit the quarterback late.
Well, the body language of that defense of Sammy Hill didn't look too bad, but the guy weighs way over 300 pounds, so when you, it doesn't take much to knock Geno Smith head over heels into the bench area.
3rd down and 8 for the Jets. They're 2 for 9 on 3rd downs today. Smith down the sideline to Decker, incomplete.
Wow.
He looks like he's looking up at the scoreboard of the lights. He lost the ball. It hit him in the chest and surprised him. When he looks back, he's wide open. A great throw by Geno Smith. A little bit of a shove by Decker. You can see he's like looking up saying, I never saw the ball.
That was everything Decker could do not to catch that ball.
Yeah,
he was fighting it.
It's hard to catch it when you can't see it.
May have gotten away with a push, too.
He did definitely have a little bit of a push. He's known for that.
That one bounces at the 5, goes into the end zone, and Tennessee will start this drive at the 20. 11 seconds to go, third quarter. Find the perfect gift for the sports fan on your gift list. Beat the crowds and get free shipping when you shop CBS Sports today. Take advantage of this offer now at cbssports.com/holiday. Well, it is a late start here in Tennessee today. 3 o'clock local time kickoff, just past 5 o'clock now, but no excuse for Eric Decker to drop that one.
There's never an excuse, but I guarantee if you ask him after the game, and he will be asked because that was a significant play in this ball game, especially if the Jets lose, he'll say, I lost the ball in the lights.
I love my quarterback friend making excuses for wide receivers.
I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying he never saw the ball.
Sean Green to the 21, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter. What a day here in Nashville. The Titans lead 11-10. We've seen a little bit of everything. Pushing and shoving and a swing of emotions for both head coaches. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Start of the fourth quarter in Nashville. The Titans lead the Jets 11-10. And Whitehurst still at quarterback. Whitehurst over the middle, and it's caught. Nate Washington with the catch at the 43-yard line.
You know, Steve Tasker, you mentioned earlier, I have been really impressed with Charlie Whitehurst, the way he's working the pocket, very under control. We watched him play a couple games earlier this year. He looks a lot more comfortable tonight than we saw him in the previous games earlier this year. He's really doing a good job. Little nudge there. He's really doing a good job, though, stepping up in the pocket, avoiding pressure, and delivering the ball.
A nudge from Sheldon Richardson. 5th catch today for Nate Washington. And Sean Green. Green lowers his head and gets to the 47. We go back to New York. JB and Coach Cowher.
Beast mode.
Oh, they are hitting in Seattle. Right here, a 4-yard run, Marshawn Lynch. His 10th rushing touchdown of the year puts Seattle up now 10-7 in this NFC West battle.
Andrew, Steve, and Steve.
All right, guys, Seattle, the only team averaging more rushing yards per game than the Jets. Seattle at 170, Jets with 149 on the season. This was Sean Green lowering his head.
That was a big pop.
Yeah, and he is having to be helped off the field. He was, you can see here, he's a little wobbly getting up, and his teammates immediately sense it.
Yeah, Green with the helmet off on the sideline. Six-year man out of Iowa. He was the Jets' 3rd-round pick in 2009. 14 carries today for 42 yards for Sean Green. 2nd and 6. Blitz coming from Pryor. Whitehurst gets rid of it to McCluster, and he's tripped up in Jets territory. Very close to a first down, but there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding, offense number 67. 10-yard penalty replay, 2nd down.
That's on Andy Levitri.
Andy Levitri, one of the offensive lineman free agents brought in to bolster this offensive line. The 2 guards really in the center. And that was the play. But those 2 offensive guards in the center really now are the stalwarts of the offensive line, as all the tackles that were on the team at the beginning of the season, the roster are all gone. Now it's completely different guys playing tackle outside of these 2 guards in the center.
And yet the Jets have no sacks today, although Tennessee has been getting rid of the ball quickly. Whitehurst. And incomplete. The defender, Walls, slipped, and so did Nate Washington.
Yeah, Nate Washington slipped twice, right at the top of the route, then and just on the plant to come back outside to the play. Watch as he gets to the top of this route. He's going to, right there he falls. Now watch this. He falls, it slips again. So that's hard to complete a pass when your receivers are wearing roller skates.
So 3rd down and 16 for Tennessee. They have to get to the Jets' 47-yard line for a first down. And that one is knocked down. Could have been intercepted. And Umpoli got his hands on that one, and the Jets force a punt.
Whitehurst makes the right read. He's going to try and throw it out short and try and get a short pass, long run. Jet right into it. It's a great job.
Rookie out of Louisiana Tech, a 6th-round pick in this year's draft, and now Curley is back deep to receive the punt from Kern. Good kick from Kern. Curley all the way back to his 7-yard line. Curley to the 20, and he goes down at the 26-yard line. 13:08 to go in the 4th quarter, and the Jets trail by 1. Next week, the Thursday night football season wraps up with a special Saturday edition. It all starts with Philadelphia traveling to Washington on NFL Network at 4 Eastern, and then San Diego visits San Francisco on CBS and NFL Network with coverage starting at 7:30 Eastern. 1st and 10 for the Jets with 13 minutes to go. And it's Ivory to the 30-yard line. Well, here's the conundrum for Jets fans, something we've talked about throughout the day, as many fans are rooting for the Jets to lose today. In terms of the draft, if they lose this game, they would be number 2, but a win pushes them to 6th, and certainly out of the running for a guy like Marcus Mariota, who won the Heisman Trophy yesterday. Decker catches this one, and he's got a first down to the 38-yard line. Jets again going with a bit of a no huddle. With 12 minutes to go in this one. Geno slips and goes down. Derek Morgan may have gotten a hand on him to get credited for the sack. Well, a lot of people calling this the Marcus Mariota Bowl. Obviously, he's in the conversation for the #1 pick. Jameis Winston will be rated highly. Steve Berline, you're a former quarterback, a 17-year NFL vet. What do you think of these two guys?
Well, I really think they both have great potential. I had a conversation with Rich Rodriguez, the head coach at the University of Arizona, yesterday about Marcus Mariota specifically, and he's played him 3 times in the last 12 months and had some very interesting things to say, all very, very high praise. But said, you know, the one thing that he has that you can't coach, he has the ability to make plays and just take the heart out of a defense. And so he's got all the physical ability to get it done, all the throws, can beat you with his feet.
We go back to New York, JB and Coach Cowher.
San Diego keeping it close.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers going to find Antonio Gates his 5-yard touchdown, his 10th of the year, his first since October 23rd, and they are coming back against Denver, trailing 16-10.
9:10 left in regulation. Back to Andrew Catalon.
Guys, thank you. Finish your thought there on Marcus Mariota, Mr. Berline.
The other thing that impressed Rich Rodriguez, and I think anybody that watches the position, his calmness, his demeanor, the way he carries himself on the football field, in addition to the physical skills, makes him very intriguing. And I think he's a pretty sure lock to be the first one picked.
3rd and 18, Geno Smith is bounced. Intended for Jeremy Curley, and the Jets will have to punt with 10:06 to go.
He did not throw. This ball didn't come out of his hand properly. I don't know whether his arm got hit or what, but he bounces this in. Short, had no chance.
Well, Tennessee was in the perfect coverage for this play. The chess match is always there between offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. That was 2-man where that was not the kind of route that you want to be trying to throw into that coverage. Very difficult to make the throw, but Geno Smith's got to give him a chance to make the catch.
That was a bad throw.
Punt number 6 from Quigley. Cluster gets away and then tackled at the 23-yard line. It was Hakeem who nearly brought him down. Timeout on the field.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart, where you'll find unbeatable prices on this year's top gifts. Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Back in Nashville alongside the Steves, Berline and Tasker, and Mike Carey back in our New York studio. I'm Andrew Catalan. Entire CBS crew, producer Ryan Galvin, director Andy Goldberg. 9:54 to go, fourth quarter. The Jets trail by 1, and Sean Green back in the game. Remember, on that last drive, had to come out after he took a big hit. Coming up after the game, time permitting, the Subway postgame show. Join JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Small crowd here in Nashville today as these 2-11 teams play out the final 9:20 of this one. It's Green again across the 30, and Landry makes the tackle at the 31-yard line. It'll be third down and short.
It's Charlie Whitehurst being inserted into this game for Jake Locker, who once again could not finish a football game this season with an injury, and once again it was an injury that happened in the pocket. He's trying to make a throw, and early in the year hurt his hand on a follow-through, banging it on players' helmets. Happened a couple of times. Charlie Whitehurst took over then, and then they went the way of Zach Mettenberger, and Charlie Whitehurst now finishing this one.
3rd and 2, and a great job defensively to close quickly. That was Darren Walls who came up and closed. The pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th down, even though Davis scooped it up and ran.
Ruling field is an incomplete pass, 4th down.
So the Jets defense does the job, and they force Tennessee to punt.
Yeah, I think it was Demario Davis on the hit as well, getting there right as the ball got there.
Yes, it was Davis.
Very good coverage.
I don't know, that looked like he had it tucked away already, and the ground caused the fumble.
How about that? 11% of the plays today have been punts. This is number 6 for Brett Kern. Curley, fair catch at the 25-yard line. 8:20 to go. Jets down by 1. Back in Nashville, where the Titans have an 11-10 lead on the Jets. 8:20 to go, fourth quarter. Geno Smith today, 14 out of 24, 167 yards and a touchdown as Chris Johnson gets to the 26-yard line. Don't forget, coming up after the game, time permitting, the Subway postgame show. Join JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. We had a chance to sit down with Geno Smith yesterday, and as you guys mentioned earlier, you were pretty impressed in your first meeting with him in terms of the way you responded to a lot of our questions, Steve Berline.
Yeah, he was. I was very impressed. He did not try to shuck the blame as he gets a sack right here, boy.
Al Woods with his first sack of the season.
But the bottom line, you can see Al Woods just comes around the edge, and Geno Smith never had a chance on this one off the right side. Nice little loop stunt there by the tackle and the defensive end. But, you know, the bottom line is you got to produce on the football field. We're impressed. I admire his accountability, the way he wasn't trying to put the blame on other people. He said he's got to play better. He's got to play more consistent. But he still actually has to start doing it on the football field as well. And tonight he's done some good things, but that's just kind of the way he's been playing for his whole career. Some good things, some not so good.
3rd and 16. Smith fires sideline, broken up. He was looking for Decker, and that pass is incomplete. So a quick 3 and out, and now a late flag comes in because of a little more jawing along the Tennessee sideline.
And it's interesting because there are no Jet players over there.
Well, Decker was the last one to leave that area.
And you figure it's got to be some kind of taunting or excessive.
And that would be an automatic first down.
It would be. It would be huge for the Jets.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 59. 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10, New York.
Inexcusable penalty by Wesley Woodyard.
Unacceptable. I mean, he's the leader of your defense. He's the captain of your team. If there's anybody that should be poised and under control and refraining from that kind of activity, there he is coming in late right there.
And by the way, Decker and Woodyard were together last year in Denver. They made it to the Super Bowl as teammates. And now Woodyard pushes Decker, and it's an automatic first down.
Yeah, and it wasn't really much that went on. I mean, Woodyard kind of walked up on him and might have said whatever. Decker gave him like a half-hearted chuck to the chest, and it was Woodyard who got the penalty.
The question is what was said and how was it said.
So 1st and 10 for the Jets. Smith in trouble again. Rolls right, dumps it off for Ivory. And Ivory to the 34-yard line. Clock continues to tick with 6:40 to go.
Both these clubs come in, obviously, and you can tell they see each other. It's worked out in the schedule. Over the past 5 years, they played each other just about every year. And they both walk into this game with a chip on their shoulder because of their own record and because of all the turmoil and the things that are going on with each team. Neither one of them wants to lose to the other, and it shows in their emotions.
Smith keeps it himself. Geno Smith with a New York first down. We have an update from New York with JB and Coach Cowan.
Seattle at home.
Yeah, Paul Richardson catches his first career touchdown pass from Russell Wilson from 10 yards out, and now Seattle puts a little bit of distance between them and San Francisco. They lead 17-7.
Well, I know Steve Erline can speak to this. Not much of a window to get that ball in. Andrew Catalon.
Stretch. They've got it clicking right now.
Chris Johnson on the carry for the Jets.
And you got to think now, if you're the Jets, they're going to come and try and get in another 17 yards of field position. They're in field goal range, and all due to an unsportsmanlike conduct on Woodyard, and they've been able to keep this drive going. The Titans managing to get them off the field on the 3rd down, then giving it right back to them to give them a chance to continue.
Geno to Decker. Decker with another Jets first down.
I think you're making a mistake if you're Cody Sensabaugh getting up and trying to get physical with the receiver whose biggest asset is his physicality. He's getting up trying to bump a receiver who is very big. We got a player down on the field. But Eric Decker, 6'3", 215. He's a hard guy to get physical with, if you ask me.
Well, and you can't tackle him high if you're Cody Sensabaugh either. I mean, you kind of got to go in there, get him low at 5'11", less than 190 pounds. Sensabaugh's got to go low and get his legs wrapped up. You can't get dragged for 4 yards after you make contact.
That's Nick Mangold, who is slow to get up for the Jets, the 5-time Pro Bowler. Having another phenomenal season. Has just 1 penalty this whole year, and it was for unsportsmanlike conduct. 2nd straight season that Mangold has not been called for holding. And a staple of this Jets team now in his 9th season.
We had a chance to talk with him yesterday as well, and we hope nothing serious obviously wrong with him. But what a pleasant guy and great storyteller he was. A lot of interesting insight he shared with us in that conversation yesterday.
Yeah, he's an offensive lineman. He's a quintessential offensive lineman. Those guys are usually highly intelligent and good communicators, because that's what an offensive line makes them good. They can communicate to each other, and conversely, they can do it in everyday life. So Mangold comes in, sits down with us, and you couldn't have been more conversational. He really has he's just a great guy to talk to. And then they're also, another thing, they're also very big physically. and they're also tough as nails. You can see Mangold taking a knee. He just won't get up until he's ready. And he'll gather himself, he'll come off, he'll be off for one play, and he'll probably walk right back on. I mean, that's, their mentality is different, the way they do things is different. Offensive linemen they really are a special kind of group of people.
Well, Dalton Freeman will come in to replace Mangold at center with 4:59 to go in the fourth quarter. That last catch put Eric Decker at 100 yards exactly receiving. First time this year Decker has had a 100-yard game, and Nick Mangold, this will be the first snap he misses this season.
Eric Decker's high this year going into this game was an 89-yard game earlier in the season.
Last week.
It was last week, that's right.
Geno Smith is lined up as a wide receiver at the top of your screen. Johnson on the carry off the direct snap. Chris Johnson with some room. Geno Smith blocking for him. Johnson is knocked out of bounds inside the 5. A gain of 38 with some help from Geno Smith.
This is the true Wildcat. We haven't seen Chris Johnson in this role very often. You're going to see Geno Smith is up here. Here's Chris Johnson. He's going to take it up inside. It's just a straight power play. You saw a pulling guard up in front of him. Great job of clearing out the hole for Chris Johnson. And as we all know, with his speed, which maybe isn't what it used to be, but it's still better than most, you don't need to give him much room before he can get through there.
So the Jets have it first and goal. Ivory. Remember, he fumbled at the goal line last week against Minnesota. He gets to the 3-yard line here.
Yeah, and I would be, they may try it, but I'll tell you what, with the Jets getting the momentum like they have now, as they bring in Decker, Harvin, and T.J. Graham, or is that Curley, they're going to go light here. I would spread them out and hand it off inside. I mean, this offensive line, you've got to give them an opportunity to push them back into the end zone. Spread the Tennessee Titans out and see if you can get the ball up inside with Ivory.
Going to go against the Jets and knock them back.
Now you can see the Titans are running the heavy guys on the field now. They got caught with some light defensive linemen on the field.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
They had what they wanted. They had them spread out. They had a cluster formation, put Decker in motion right there, and then they handed it off inside. It came open perfectly, and then the left side of the offensive line gets off early.
That was the Brickashaw Ferguson, the left tackle. And you know, how many times have we seen it today out of these 2-11 teams? The mistakes at the really most crucial point of the ball game. That's how you get to be 2-11.
What happened twice on this drive? Tennessee let them continue the drive, and now the Jets hurt themselves.
Ivory on second and goal with 4 minutes to go.
It's such a telling statistic. Penalties, and we see this a lot too. Some teams will get penalized, and it never seems to hurt them. And other teams, like the Jets and the Titans, will do it at the absolute worst possible moment. When the stress is the highest, when the discipline needs to be the highest, that's when it disappears for these two teams.
Dalton Freeman is still in at center. Nick Mangold on the Jets sideline. Third down and goal.
Here's Decker up here at the top of the screen.
Powell, the running back. Tennessee showing blitz. Here they come. Smith gets rid of it. End zone, and it's incomplete, but a flag is down. Cody Sensabaugh on the coverage with Eric Decker, and that is pass interference.
You could see the man coverage, and then as
Pass interference defense, number 24, hook and turn, automatic first down.
as Rex Ryan and Geno Smith told us, this is a team that will come no matter what. The Tennessee Titans blitz with their defensive coordinator Ray Horton is much, if not more, than any team in the NFL. They'll come no matter what the situation is. Right there, you had one-on-one again with Cody Sensabaugh against Eric Decker, and they paid the price.
So first and goal from the 1 for the Jets. Connor, the fullback, Ivory at running back. It is Ivory. And a flag is down in the end zone.
It's going to be encroachment on the defense. Inside, the nose tackle went offsides just before the snap. It's going to be another first down for the Jets.
Offside, defense, number 91, half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
Yeah, Derek Morgan got right over the ball too. I mean, he's right here. I believe, no, he's up to the top. There we go. Yeah, that's right. There's the wrong number. But he pinched it right in. Now, see, he knows it wasn't him.
So first and goal for the Jets. Again, Connor at fullback, Ivory at running back. They give to Ivory, running left, trying to turn the corner, and he does. Touchdown, Jets. 6th rushing touchdown this season for Chris Ivory. And Rex Ryan with 2 fingers in his air. He wants his team to go for 2.
Yeah, want to get up by 7. Easy call for Rex Ryan.
Yeah, the Titans do a nice job of getting penetration. Casey ends up in the backfield, and right there at the end, Gooden couldn't get his shoulders turned to get out and set the edge of that defense, and Ivory got around the edge.
11-play drive, helped by a couple of Tennessee penalties. And now the Jets try to make it a 7-point game as they go for 2. They are 0 for 3 on 2-point attempts this season. Smith gets rid of it quickly to Curley, and it's incomplete. He could not hold on, and the score remains 16-11. But the Jets have pulled in front with 3:09 to go. A long drive. Chris Ivory caps it off. Will the Jets hold on? We're back to Nashville in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Intel. This is where it all changes. And by Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever.
.309 to go as we welcome you back to Nashville, and the Jets have pulled ahead 16-11. Tennessee has 3 timeouts remaining. Leon Washington back deep for the Titans, and he's going to return this one. Washington tackled at the 21-yard line. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you are watching the NFL on CBS in the game between the Jets and the Titans, along with Steve Berline and Steve Tasker. I'm Andrew Catalan. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. 3:03 to go. And you really wonder right now how many Jets fans are rooting for the Titans to go down the field and score a touchdown with that #1 pick in the draft in play. Charlie Whitehurst, the quarterback for the Titans. Pressure coming from Pace, and now a sack by the Jets. And it's Enumpoli who finishes off Whitehurst for his first career sack, but there is a flag down in the secondary at the 28-yard line.
Holding, defense number 20. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Kyle Wilson, and penalties continue to tell the story of this game. That negates an 8-yard sack.
There have been so many significant penalties on big plays against the team making the big play that I don't recall seeing this many in a game at just key points in the game. The mistake that really completely changes the momentum that was just gained.
Pressure coming, Whitehurst fires, incomplete. Was trying to connect with Chris Durham, and it's second down.
Yeah, Chris Durham comes up limping. Don't need another player to go down for Tennessee, but the penalty over here that happened earlier is right there out in the secondary. You see him look at it. Yeah, and that's an easy call as the receiver kind of showboats a little bit to get the attention.
Whitehurst to his tight end, Walker, who slips a tackle. Delaney Walker with a first down to the 45-yard line, a gain of 18.
Rex Ryan told us the one thing about Delaney Walker as a tight end is his speed. You saw it here after the catch, his ability to plant, get up the football field. You really have to rally to the ball when he catches it because he is a big guy who can really scoot once he turns it upfield.
Yeah, averages almost 15 yards a catch, which for a tight end is leading the NFL.
Just his 3rd catch today. First down and 10. Whitehurst deep over the middle to Walker again. And he's got it inside the 25-yard line. 34 yards, Whitehurst to Walker.
Great job of identifying the play by Charlie Whitehurst, finding the open man in the middle of the field, Delanie Walker.
2-minute warning in Nashville. Jets lead by 5. 2-minute warning in Nashville. Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, watching field level as his team leads the Titans 16-11. Charlie Whitehurst replacing the injured Jake Locker, and Whitehurst is sacked. Well, Quentin Coples bringing down Charlie Whitehurst, and a timeout called for by the Titans.
And that was Will Svitek that was just beaten off the ball by Coples. He was shot out of a cannon off that left edge. Nothing tricky about it whatsoever. He just ran right by Svitek.
Yeah, it was a straight speed rush. Svitek was asking. He thought he got off earlier than snap, but no call by the official. And Coples was a rocket.
Well, we knew that the tackle issues that the Tennessee Titans have had this whole season, especially coming into this game, were going to show themselves at some point.
We're inside the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter. It's amazing that that's the first issue we've really seen with these tackles that are really the number 6 and number 7 tackles that the Titans have played this year.
It's been a strange game. There's no doubt about it. 2nd and 17. Whitehurst looking for Hagan down the sideline, and he was out of bounds. Incomplete. It's 3rd down.
He caught the ball, but he's only got 1 foot in bounds as he couldn't drag his left foot down the sideline. You watch, he makes a great catch, and 1 foot comes down, but the coverage there by Jarrett knocks him right off the field.
Well, and Charlie Whitehurst would like to have this one back because I think he believed that Jarrett wasn't around. He thought he had an open throw. You're going to see as he gets ready to throw this football, right here is the area he's going to. He doesn't really, he lobs it up in the air a little bit, did not throw it at the receiver Hagan. If he would have stopped Hagan with that ball on the sideline, that ball would have been completed inbounds before Jarrett could have gotten over there to it.
So it's 3rd down and 17. Tennessee has to get to the 12-yard line for a first down. Whitehurst on the run, fires middle of the field, incomplete, nobody home, and it's 4th and long.
Yeah, there's no question. They have to stay on the field, and you know, if you're Charlie Whitehurst, you got to know, just get half of it at least. Don't take the shot to get it all. You're in 4-down territory inside the 2-minute drill. Get some of it back to give yourself a chance on the next down, but Whitehurst throws this to nobody in the back of the end zone.
You're exactly right. I mean, that should have been his thinking, and it should have been in his head from the sideline as well. If it's not there, pick up some. Get us at least 50% of it back.
Yeah, now everybody's backed off. 4 guys, 7 guys will be beyond the sticks.
4th down and 17. A flag comes in.
Rex Ryan took a timeout.
Yes, he did. They grant the timeout to Rex Ryan and the Jets.
Timeout New York, the team's 2nd. There is no foul on the play. 30-second timeout.
Yeah, Tennessee was in illegal procedure. Their offensive line jumped prior to the snap, and this made it no penalty.
Week 15 continues tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN.
We've talked an awful lot about Rex Ryan today and the situation he finds himself in. One of the things I think that separates him from a lot of other coaches, a lot of other people in this league, is he never, ever blames anybody else.
4th down and 17 following the Jets timeout. Whitehurst out of the gun. Pace coming with pressure. Whitehurst eludes it. Still running. Fires, and it's incomplete. And the Jets are getting the ball back with 1:31 to go.
Well, just a super job the last 2 plays by the New York Jets. Now, obviously, it helped by being 4th and long, but they're back. They got everybody back deep. There's nowhere that Charlie Whitehurst can go with this football. Nobody's open. He's forced to throw it into coverage, just trying to get someone to come up with a miracle play.
Game is not over. Tennessee does have 2 timeouts remaining, so if they can stop the Jets, they will get the ball back. But Rex Ryan right now thinking that maybe his team will get its first road win of the year as Ken Whisenhunt watches on. On the carry, just his third carry of the season. Tennessee calls a timeout. They have one remaining.
This is the only game in NFL history that will have ended with a final score of 16-11, so it is a historic day.
That's one way to say it.
Yeah. You know, you said something that Steve Berlin that stuck with me. One of the hallmarks of Rex Ryan's tenure in New York is his ability to be, quote unquote, the good soldier. He has never thrown anyone in the organization under the bus. He has never been disparaging towards his players, towards John Idzik, certainly not towards ownership. He has never done anything but take responsibility for the team and the way it's played. He has been a cheerleader for everybody inside that organization, even in the darkest days, and certainly here this season he's continued with that. One of the things that has made him, has been one of the calling cards of his tenure as head coach of the New York Jets.
Ivory slips. Tennessee calls its final timeout with 1:22 to go. It'll be 3rd down and long for the Jets. Tennessee cannot stop the clock the rest of the way. Look at the AFC East standings. Earlier today, New England clinched the division title. Buffalo with a big win at home over Green Bay to go to 8-6 and stay in the wild card hunt.
There will be somewhere around 35 to 40 seconds, or just over 30 seconds, when the Titans get this football back.
And a field goal will do them no good. They have to score a touchdown down by 5. That's assuming, of course, the Jets do not convert here on 3rd down and 14.
About 40 to 45 seconds they'll get the football back.
They keep it on the ground to make sure the clock continues to run.
Yeah, now as they
Should be
start
about
this,
25 to 30
you
seconds when Tennessee gets the ball back. Quigley will punt it away. Jets do have one timeout remaining.
In this situation, Steve Tasker, the Pro Bowl special teams guy, arguably Pro Bowler, or Hall of Famer, I mean. What do? Do you go for a block on the punt, or do you play for the return? With this time, they're going to only have, like you said, about 30 seconds left.
Well, you should be able to do both. You should always be sending somebody to block the punt. But if you have a special block that you haven't tried yet, yeah, you'd definitely go for it. You've got Dexter McCluster back there. And in fact, a lot of times you may try, this might be the point where you try the reverse return or the fake, the special return that you have set up as well. It's a coin flip as to which one you think you have the better shot at. My thing is, it's tough to block a kick in this situation because the other team is so ready for it. They aren't ready for an exotic return.
But the only way you're going to get a short field, barring a masterful return, is to block the punt.
You always should send pressure on the punt to make sure the guy gets it off on time.
John Idzik, the Jets general manager, watching from the tunnel here in Nashville.
You can't let the punter take his time and get the great punt. You got to make it a little bit uncomfortable for him, make him hurry, which looks like what the Tennessee Titans are going to do.
McCluster waiting for it at the 25-yard line. Quigley gets it away. McCluster with 3 career punt return touchdowns from the 15. And McCluster is wrapped up at the 19-yard line. With 21 seconds remaining, Tennessee cannot stop the clock.
Well, the key, number one, for Tennessee right now is they've got to get the ball within Charlie Whitehurst's range of getting into the end zone, which, like a kicker, you know how far your quarterback can throw the ball. So it's somewhere around midfield. They've got to get it probably just on the other side of midfield for Charlie Whitehurst to be able to get this thing into the end zone.
And if they don't, they've got to do the hook and lateral and the rugby play of pitching it back and back until somebody maybe finds a seam.
One career game-winning drive for Charlie Whitehurst came 3 years ago against the Giants. Remember, if they throw the ball to the middle of the field, they have to hustle up to the line and spike it. Whitehurst, middle of the field, and Nate Washington, and now they have to sprint up and try to spike this one.
I'm surprised they did that. They were giving up the sideline. They're only going to get one more play.
And the spike with 6 seconds remaining.
But he can't get into the end zone from here. And
well, what he's going to have to do, I mean, if he gets a running start, if they want to try and get it to the end zone, Charlie Whitehurst is going to have to roll out and throw it on the run right at the line of scrimmage, and then hopefully he can get it there. But I don't think he can either.
Well, what they got, 6 seconds. They could throw a quick out right now and get it to the flag, and that's what they should do. Get it out of bounds, right? They got enough time, and then throw it into the end zone on the next play.
Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Nobody was looking.
That's the ball game.
They got no seconds on the clock, and we'll see. It looked like there was a second left.
It looked like there was a second left.
Yeah, they got 1 second left. Yeah, the official from the back of the field is coming in with 1 second. Look at Rex. He's like,
can't
really?
believe it.
Are you kidding me?
To me, this is a bad decision.
Nothing comes easy.
1 second remains.
It's a bad decision because now they have to do one of those hook and lateral type plays. If you take the 10-yard gain and get out of bounds, then you got a chance to put it into the end zone.
And this is going nowhere.
To do that right there, I don't know what you're thinking now. You don't have any hope of getting that ball into the end zone.
Now they're going to have to start doing the the miracle. And I'll tell you what, it's what you do. I think what you do is they got 4 guys rushing the passer. Everybody else is back to the inside the 30-yard line. I think what you do is just start pitching it back and start like a rugby play.
So the Titans need a Hail Mary, and Jets fans who've been praying for Marcus Mariota may see that prayer go unanswered if the Jets hold on here. Washington, and here we go. We've seen the Music City Miracle here before. This is Whitehurst on the run. That may have been a forward pass. Walker still going. Walker at the 10, and he's out of bounds. And the Jets win. A fitting way for this game to come to an end. My goodness.
I think it was a clean pitch by Charlie Whitehurst. It was close.
I think it was straight. In this building, it always counts for the home team. That I think it was a sideways pitch by Whitehurst, and it was close, no question. But it looked like Delaney Walker was going to get there.
But a great job by Walls. Breaking down, making that
Walker's
tackle.
you can't get caught out of bounds. Walker's got to pitch that ball again.
Yeah, you can't get knocked out of bounds. Landry's actually the one that steps up and makes the tackle right there.
So the Jets win the game, but in terms of the #1 draft pick, Tennessee may have won the battle. As Whitehurst is frustrated, and Rex Ryan celebrates his first road victory of the season. That'll do it from Nashville. The Jets win 16-11. Tonight on 60 Minutes begins with an investigation into the care for the dangerous mentally ill, followed by the season premiere of Undercover Boss, plus new episodes of The Mentalist and CSI. For Steve Berline and Steve Tasker, I'm Andrew Catalon saying so long from Nashville. You have been watching the NFL on CBS.